It just came out that Trump could be unlocking $12 trillion into the crypto market. Big news happening. We have XRP hitting new all-time highs, Bitcoin back over 120,000, Ethereum hitting 3,500 for the first time in a long time. And this is all since the last video that I made about an hour ago. So what's happening? Let's go through it. If you don't mind, hit subscribe so you can see future videos just like this. Also turn on that bell notification so you know right when I post videos and you get notified. There's also a link down there to BYDFi. We've been able to trade and make life-changing amounts of money this cycle. If you want to start trading, check out BYDFi. They have some great bonuses going on right now, some trading competitions as well. I wouldn't call it a competition, actually. Just some free money for trading, along with some free deposit bonuses as well. And you don't have to KYC, you don't need a VPN. Now, sorry, I'm breathing hard. I've been running around. I have the Bitcoin baby next to me. I had the Bitcoin dog stealing stuff from me. And my computer's not working. So we're going with my phone. So the crypto market is pumping heavily right now. Like I said, XRP hitting new highs up at like $3.47 last time I looked. Ethereum spiking up, Bitcoin spiking up. We got news about the Clarity Act and the Genius Bill. They're getting passed out of the House. One is going to the Senate. One's going to the president tomorrow. So it's all looking really bullish on stablecoin regulation, on CBDCs, and just oversight in general, right? Crypto companies are going to be able to innovate because they're going to know the laws. They're going to know what they have to do. They're going to understand how to properly back, or what, like stablecoins will have to properly back themselves to prevent us from like what happened with UST. Now, we got kind of interesting news after all this happened. After the market closed, there are rumors that there could be an executive order this week still. So keep in mind, it's Thursday, so Trump giving us less than 24 hours before a possible executive order to unlock 401ks and allow them to start investing in digital assets. I believe there is also private equity and maybe commodities included in there too, like gold. So pretty interesting news. Obviously, 401ks have a lot of just a lot of money in them. It's estimated between 9 and 12 trillion, depending on where you're looking. Obviously, some of that would go into crypto assets. I mean, this is something I've been talking about for a long time. There will be a time where Bitcoin is going to be in everyone's retirement portfolio. And we're starting to see that through like access to QQQ or the S&P 500, right? QQQ, I believe, already has MSTR, but the S&P 500 doesn't include MSTR yet, but it will, right? Every person will have access to crypto or exposure to crypto. And we already have that a little bit with Tesla, actually, because almost every retirement or target date fund has some exposure to Tesla. But how interesting will it be when instead of like 90-10, where 90% of someone's portfolio is stocks, 10% is bonds, it's going to be like 98-2 or something like that. 90% equities, 8% bonds, and then maybe 2% Bitcoin. And that will change over time for sure. But that is a relentless buying of Bitcoin. And we're already seeing relentless buying from like MicroStrategy and MetaPlanet. And we're also seeing it from BlackRock, Fidelity. But that is more market driven. Like when you think about BlackRock or Fidelity, they're buying based on hedge funds and based on retail investors buying, right? For the most part, people are deciding to buy their ETF. Sometimes they can do it internally and buy within other portfolios, but 99.5 or 99.9% of what they get in AUM is from outside sources. MicroStrategy will buy forever. They've said that, but a lot of it is dependent on the market. They can issue a lot more shares when the market's very bullish. However, having 401ks that constantly buy Bitcoin, of course, I think there will be some change due to the market. Like if we're in a recession, people will naturally save less in their 401ks because they'll have, more concerns about having to spend their money. or maybe even there's rebalancing in a recession that pulls away from Bitcoin or something like that. But it's a lot less reactive. So we could have a massive buying mechanism that continues no matter what kind of dips there are, no matter what kind of pumps there are, just constant buying every single week. Billions of dollars of Bitcoin could be bought up, most likely more like tens of millions and maybe hundreds of millions, but eventually billions of dollars being bought up every single week, regardless of the price. And that's going to happen more in the future too when nations start buying. They're not price dependent. They don't care whether they're buying Bitcoin at 115,000 or 150,000. It doesn't matter to them. They're not buying and worried about a couple $1,000s. They're worried about buying enough and making sure that they are strategically positioned. At least that's how they will think. So that's a Bitcoin baby agreeing with me. But yes, that is big news coming out that this could be an executive order that's signed. Now, who knows? Maybe it's not. Maybe it's not signed here very soon. Maybe it's just fake news in general. We won't know until we hear more, but I do think that this is bound to happen at some point. I've been saying this for years. Everyone will buy Bitcoin, whether they like it or not, at some point. And this is one of the most bullish things I think that could happen for Bitcoin's price. Of course, I want to hear your thoughts on this underneath the video. Of course, we do have XRP and some altcoins going up on the news of the Genius bill as well. Keep in mind, I made an Ethereum video earlier today. There are Ethereum and XRP treasuries, and sorry for this, and the Ethereum ETFs too are swallowing up a lot of Ethereum. Let me just do this real quick. They're swallowing up so much Ethereum, and like yesterday, record day, $720 million worth of Ethereum bought up by the ETFs. That is much bigger than any day that we've ever seen for Bitcoin when you take into account the market cap. Like the market cap of Ethereum is 1/6 that of Bitcoin. Okay, I might have to end this video here in a sec. But the Ethereum market cap is 1/6 that of Bitcoin, and they had $720 million of inflows. The equivalent for Bitcoin would be $4 billion in inflows. So it's just kind of crazy how much is going into these ETFs. And we could see ETFs approved for Solana, XRP here very soon. Maybe even some other cryptos too. So thank you so much for watching. Check out the links underneath the video. Apologize for the loud baby noises. And we'll see you in the next one. Bye.